Howdy.
Joe, what did you learn about yourselves in the last year's Super Bowl with some of those deep passes? I guess what did you guys learn about yourselves there?
Well, it was great to hit him. Eventually, late, and we knew Xavier could do that. So that part of it was encouraging. Utilizing that earlier, getting to that sooner, putting in the guys in the best spot. That was a few of the takeaways. And then this time of year is just always great because you can audit where you were, assess everything that you did in the past. We're on the prowl for all sorts of new ideas and staying on the cutting edge of the pass game and trying to get more explosive. So you just kind of use it as a rebirth and then start back from scratch.
We've heard so much from Pat about wanting to utilize that this year, the deep pass. I guess how do you guys make that a reality? How do you get there to that point from here?
Yeah, this time of year helps with just the chemistry, and everyone runs, especially the deeper the routes go. Everybody's angle as far as the pass catchers and their speed and coming out of the breaks is just a little bit different. So the quarterback's getting the timing with those guys, getting a feel for how they run it, and then just utilizing them, continuing to stress it, to go top down, and to let those guys run and really utilize their talents.
As you think back to the Week 4 Rice injury, how did that really change everything, and what does it mean to now infuse him back into the mix?
Yeah, it's great. It was, and I think we've said it before, it was devastating on like a personal level, and for all the guys, everyone roots for him. He's such a great locker room teammate and a competitor on the field, and you could just feel sort of everything starting to click, and the breakout that he was about to have or that he was on the verge of, everyone could sense it. So the devastation was just for him personally, and then the team component and how we were going to move the ball and score against the defense, that kind of came secondary. And that challenge of trying to score points and just move the ball against defenses, that's always kind of on the top of our minds. And so having Rasheed back opens up a lot of things, but then just his personality and him being around the competitor that he has, it raises everybody's game.
Joe, with what Vic Fangio and them threw at you in that final game, how much did that give you guys a jolt to maybe tinker with things here and there with the audit that you did?
Yeah, it's definitely motivation. That's for sure. You look back and it's definitely motivation and lights a fire to put our best foot forward. And so the biggest stage, everyone was watching, and to come out the way we did, that leaves a lot to be desired. So that what he did, how we played, all of that just fuels why we're here right now, what we did in the offseason, and then into training camp, and then leading into the fall.
So with what Xavier did late in the season, especially just the different route combinations that he was running, how does that change just your guys' approach with him as you head into camp and this year?
Yeah, it helps. So utilizing his speed and him on a bunch of the top end stuff deep down the field is critical to his game. Him being able to catch underneath in traffic when a hit is imminent, working second level defenders, him displaying that now just opens up a whole nother window and really forces defenses to cover him at all three levels. And so everybody knew that he was a threat at the top end with the speed. And then you kind of have to put on film and demonstrate that you're willing to go underneath, go across the field, make some catches in traffic. And we love to utilize him on those types of routes. The defense is kind of in a wait-and-see approach with some of the guys to see if they're willing to do that. And he showed he was, and that he was a threat with the ball. And so it kind of just gives him, again, just threatening defense on all three levels and really the width of the field as well as the vertical. He has all 52 yards.
It wasn't just the Super Bowl, but he had a couple deep passes earlier in the playoffs as well. Do you look back at the back end of his regular season and him proving that he does run those other routes as a reason maybe that?
Yeah, I think it all complements. Yeah, I think it all ties in. When defenses have to start taking away all three levels of the field, he can really start selling routes that he's won on and got production on at the second level, and then break back out and run by people. So it helps when you're in a man coverage, when you're in zone coverage, where the eyes of the defenders are, all of that stuff. Being able to be willing to do it, to be good at it, and then to have production that the defense has to acknowledge will help all those levels.
Joe,
We're going to go last to Vahe and Adam. Joe, you mentioned, the fire lit by motivation but also the audit and being on the prowl for new stuff. How much different is the audit and the prowl for new ideas after the way this season ended than it would be in a normal off season, which I guess lately normal has been winning Super Bowls?
Yeah. The audit itself, it's not as much a difference because of the way the game ended. The audit changes, or I guess the inspiration changes just in terms of the guys that we have that we know that are coming back. So this is one of the first off seasons where a lot of our pass catchers have had a year in the system. And so we're not necessarily starting from new or trying to figure out the best way to utilize guys. We have an idea of what our guys can do. And even though Hollywood missed a few games, we have an idea of what he can do. So the audit now is to complement things that we've done in the past, to continue to build on some of the guys that showed what they can do this season. So it's been a little bit different just because we anticipate some of those starters coming back for the first time.
So it's not really like some kind of reinvention, that would be overstating it anyway, but you see ways to really harness this differently by what you've got coming back and, what you know about everybody now in ways you haven't recently.
Yeah, and then to build and to continue to take that next step and stay one step ahead of the defense and to continue to complement and let the guys flourish with what they're good at and then continue to help them grow too. Yeah.
Last one, Adam.
Hey, Joe, back to the issue of trying to reestablish the deep ball. Do you feel like Pat trusted the protection consistently enough last year to allow you guys to be able to do that the way you wanted to do it?
Yeah, I think he did, and he stood in there and delivered a ton of passes that I think when we went back and looked throughout the whole season of the pass game, your respect and admiration for him really grew because of what he was willing to do and how he was willing to stand in there. It all ties in together, and sometimes whether it's the protection or up front gets a lot of the highlighted attention. It's all three levels really that can have an impact on going deep and completing some of those passes. So the receivers making the plays down the field, the protection up front, but it's really all 11. And when we were looking at it, and me specifically, that's really the focus, is how can each guy play their part into continuing to help us complete some of those deep passes, not just the one or two guys that gets highlighted.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Joe.